Now, I'd like to ask, please, if Penny Gardner from Sherborne would like to come and share with us what's happening in Sherborne, a very similar community to Wimborne. And I actually don't know anything about what's happening in Sherborne except that there is stuff happening there. So, Penny Gardner, thank you very much.
I'm just overwhelmed by what's happening with Irwin and what's in Bournemouth, and it makes us feel quite naive in our efforts. We met as churches together in the autumn last year in Sherborne, a group, and we information exchange, as it was, and we got things off the internet and talked. And we had a young student, she just graduated, a 23-year-old, who had been working with refugees in Birmingham, and in fact was the only one who was clued in a bit on the laws and the things that we needed. And out of that meeting, we had another meeting, a general meeting in the town hall, and we had about 50 people from all over Dorset, from Bridport and Blandford and Dorchester and Weymouth. And it was run by a young man from Citizens UK who came down and told us how to talk to people about refugees coming to our town. And in 2 hours, there wasn't one person who didn't go away with some sort of a job to do, and with an idea of how to speak to people, not argue with them, just tell them about your experience and why you felt that this was really necessary. And it was a really good evening. So that's Citizens UK, and that's who Mia Barlow, the young student, was representing. So from that meeting, which was around November time, we went away looking for things, a structure that we could offer anybody who came. And Irwin pointed those things out, like housing and language and school and medical. And so there have been working parties going out and putting that together. And of course our big stumbling block is housing. In the meantime, a few of us were really burning to do something and decided to go out to Calais and see what the situation was like out there. So at the beginning of December, we went out to Calais. We put out an appeal with about a week's time and said if anybody has any donations. We were quite specific about what we wanted. And we couldn't move in our house. Mia couldn't move in her house. People were so enthusiastic and really wanted to give. So we went out. We had a huge van. We went out with 5 people, including my granddaughter and Mia, a young sailor, and a van load. And we had to leave more than half of the stuff that was given to us behind. The time in Calais was just such an eye-opener. And I don't know what you can say about it. We got back and we talked about it a lot, and we decided to have a Calais evening because we had so much stuff, so many donations. But what we were impressed with when we got to Calais, and we worked in a warehouse out there, and we worked distributing food, but the warehouse had a huge pile as high as this of rubbish that had been sent over. Wedding dresses, high-heel shoes, and things that just were totally impractical. So we had this Calais evening and asked people to come and help us sort the rest of the donations that we still had to go over. And if they wanted to, could they bring a carrot or an onion, and we would put together a meal as was prepared in the kitchens in Calais. And we did that. I think there were, over 100 people that came in to help us sort the clothes and things and get a really good idea. We filled the charity shops in Sherborne with things that were inappropriate, and 40 of us sat down and shared a Calais-style meal of dal and salad. It was quite a nice evening. In the meantime, Mia and her friends have formed a party to meet with Oliver Letwin. They did their homework, they found out all about how he voted and his background and so on, and they went in fully prepared. And it all sort of fell on deaf ears, all their plea for support and so on. He stood right behind the government. So we went back to Calais with our new van load and still more stuff that has come in. And when we were out there, we were really shocked with the bulldozers that were coming in, and we were sort of going in undercover. It was a very unfriendly situation. And when we got back, I think we were really flattened by the whole thing. And talking to people then, they also didn't know what to do, but we also had heard people saying, look, we'll give anything that you want, donations, we're fine, but let's keep them over there. We don't need them next door. We don't need refugees or migrants with us. And that really has shocked us. So what we're doing now is raising awareness in Sherborne. We have planned in May, we have an art exhibition from Syrian children in a refugee camp in Lebanon. So that's a week of the art exhibition, and at the end of the week we have an evening which will be called Seeking Refuge, and we have two writers who are going to speak about their books. One is Guwali Passerly, who's written a book called Skyless Night, a starless night, and lightless night. I keep getting it wrong. It's a really good book, and it's all about his year and a bit that it took to him as an unaccompanied refugee boy. He was 12 years old when he was sent from Afghanistan by his mother after his father and grandfather had been killed. So we have Guwali, and we also have Diana Dark, who has written a book called My Home in Damascus, and she's a very knowledgeable woman about the situation in Syria. So she'll be talking to us, and we have a group of poets and musicians who are going to be performing. That's the 21st of May. In the meantime, we're being encouraged to please write to your MP and put pressure on your local council. And I think that's it. I'm sorry it took so long.
Thank you.